Hi, welcome back to the Franz Experience. I'm Franz, your host. I wanted to talk to you today about something that is very near and dear, being as though this month, October, is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we should actually be aware every month, but I'm grateful that this month is dedicated to helping support individuals who have survived or suffered from any form of abuse. First, I'd like to go back to thanking everyone who has currently subscribed to our channel over at www.thefrnzexperience.life, where we believe that you've been bumped on course. So as we discuss our topic for today, again, it's very near and dear, and in regards to domestic abuse, there's many forms of abuse, but I just want us to really look at the different types of abuse and just to be aware and be supportive of individuals who have experienced it or who are actually going through this. There's abuse from siblings, there's parental abuse, there's child abuse. There's so many forms of it. There's verbal, mental, physical, all of which are unfortunate and very difficult to either be a part of it or to be around individuals who are suffering from it, because we tend to feel, a lot of the pains that they're feeling as well. The reason why I say it's very near and dear to me is because this was something that I also experienced growing up, where I was a child and I experienced seeing domestic abuse. And as I want to dive into a conversation with you, I want to talk more about the children. I want to talk more about the children and how they're affected. And are we really paying attention to what our children or anyone's children is experiencing, even if they basically say they're fine or they don't want to talk about it? We have to still pay attention and be very supportive of how they're developing and going through this process. I wanted to share with you some information. Hopefully, if you know someone that's going through this and they're not really sure where to turn, there's professional services that are available to them. There's the PCADV, which is the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Domestic Violence. There's a website. If you want to actually Google PCADV, that's basically for Pennsylvania, but I'm sure that there are a number of organizations outside of Pennsylvania in many of the states that can pretty much help you or anyone that is currently going through or has gone through some form of domestic abuse. One other topic I wanted to discuss was those individuals who have gone through it and how it can be male or female and the sensitivity of it. Are we supportive? Are we judgmental? And these individuals that have gone through this and have survived it, I truly believe that they've been bumped on course. A lot of what I say is about overcoming obstacles, injuries, unforeseen circumstances, and I do believe that we're bumped on course. These individuals who are survivors at some point in time said, you know what, I need to be there for someone else. And I take my hat off to those individuals who have stepped up even through their pains and saw that those particular circumstances were very unfortunate and they felt that they didn't want anyone else to experience it. I myself have started writing a book called No Honor in Silence. It's a very difficult book to write. Reason being is once you have experienced some form of traumatic, life-changing event, you yourself tend to relive certain past pain points. And so they become a little difficult. And I myself feel as though that there's no honor in silence. There's no honor in hiding. There's no honor in keeping it to yourself. I think that when we do keep these things to ourselves, we hinder our growth and growth of others. And I'm sharing this and discussing this because I'm hoping that this can potentially stop a young child from growing up being a victim of a situation, and hoping that they also seek assistance or notice when there's certain types of scenarios or situations that arise and they know how to handle them. Another thing I wanted to discuss was that not only women go through this, men also are affected. It's unfortunate that the amount of support for men aren't necessarily the same, but men are also abused in relationships. And so I have had a few scenarios where there have been friends who've mentioned to me that they were victims of domestic abuse. And I know it's real. It happens, and we have to be supportive and give them the same needs that a woman may need as well. We have to be sensitive to these circumstances, even down to if a woman or a man or a daughter or son or a parent, whomever it is, male, female, doesn't matter who it is, when they go to file for, basically they go and file for a restraining order, you know, we have to be sensitive down to who we put in front of them. You know, is this something that we're paying attention to? So if a woman was just abused, are we sensitive to request or ask who would they like to request to speak with? Do they prefer male or female? We have to be sensitive to their needs, and vice versa. If there is a man who's been abused and he's filing a restraining order against an individual, we have to make sure we are giving that individual the same amount of respect and courtesy. That person is in need of support. The issue is very sensitive. So that particular individual that goes in, that man that goes in and says, hey, I need to file a restraining order against my partner, we have to be cognizant and we have to ask them, would you prefer speaking with a man or a woman? These processes have to be put in place because we don't want to startle or cause further pains for anyone experiencing this type of grief. In addition to that, we have to look at how our supportive channels are being implemented. A lot of individuals are in the workforce, and I'm grateful to many companies who have implemented in one form or fashion some type of employee assistance programs where individuals can reach out for support, professional support. We have to be cognizant that when we do give out support, that we are solely thinking of that particular individual's safety, because sometimes we think we're helping and we're not. We're causing a dangerous situation to be even more dangerous. We have to make sure that we're using verbiage that is appropriate. If you see something, recognize it. Sometimes we have to help each other. So if you see someone that seems like they're pretty distressed and you're not certain exactly what it is, a simple question, are you okay? That question can go a long way. We have to be respectful and proceed very carefully with addressing this matter. Individuals who are going through this or have gone through this shouldn't be judged either, unless you've been in the situation. And every situation is different. You are unsure of the outcome. Fatality is the worst outcome. I lost my father at 13. I can't say if it would have been different had the environment changed, had we left the home, had there been separation or divorce, or I can't say. I can't say. But what I do know is that my father's no longer here. And we want to ensure that those individuals who are experiencing these pains get support. They need it. The children. I want to talk back about the children. And again, it's emotional because here's the deal. Every child is precious. They come into this world expecting love and support, and they need it. They deserve it. When someone is going through, when a child is going through seeing partners, their parents, guardians behave violently, it affects them. They can either, one, grow up, be completely fine, and be extremely loving, like myself, and want more for themselves and their family. Or they themselves can become victims of abuse or become abusers. I think each conversation stops a situation. I think the more that we talk about it, the more awareness that we bring to the situation and circumstances, it stops someone from becoming abused. So what I'd like to also discuss is, and I know this is about domestic, but I think when I think of domestic, I also think about family and how family is affected. There are some parents who are abused by their children. And it doesn't always mean domestic abuse.